judge me, say, oh, she's a mess, she's gross.
The only thing I'm judging is your attitude. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I'll try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Janice says she gave birth to 3 children, the youngest being a boy named Chance. Now, Chance was adorable, good-looking, kind, popular, very athletic, excelling in gymnastics and swimming. When Chance was 16, he revealed he was gay, and Janice claims that she accepted this. But somewhere along the way, she says something went way wrong. Her good son started lying, stealing, trashing the house, and even wrecking cars. She says Chance turned into someone she didn't recognize at all. So she sent him off to her mother, Jan, in another state. He was to attend a local college. They got him a scholarship. But her grandparents claimed Chance stole prescription drugs from Jan's pharmacist husband, trashed furniture they bought for an apartment they were renting. Eventually, Chance packed up his bags without any notice and took a chance by heading out west. He ended up in L.A. Some call it the City of Angels. Others call it the City of Broken Dreams. Either way, Janice claims her child, who she named Chance, made a life-altering decision about who he really is that not only threw her off guard, but also completely shocked her and the entire family. Take a look.
When Chance was a teenager, that's when things began to change. He told me he was gay. Chance started acting out. He was skipping school, drinking alcohol, and smoking pot. Chance really did not like living at home with me, so before his senior year in high school, he went to live with his grandparents. He was hoping that he could get away with more than he did with me. Chance's life with my parents wasn't much better. He was constantly in trouble. After graduating from high school, Chance really went downhill. He started smoking meth and really getting involved with drugs. My son's life was spiraling out of control. The next thing I knew, Chance and his friends packed up and moved to the West Coast. At that point, my relationship with Chance was basically non-existent. I would reach out, and it would be weeks, months before I would hear from him. He started to change in a way that I never saw coming. He started wearing short shorts and crop tops and girl sandals. So I made a comment on social media, and my comment was, "Why are you dressing like a girl?" Chance told me he was now transgender.
It just felt right and felt like there was who I was meant to be. And I no longer wanted to be Chance. I wanted to be known as Hope.
I lost my son. I felt my whole entire world had just crashed in front of me. Hope is not only homeless, but she's making her living as a prostitute in Hollywood.
I needed money, so I started escorting as a way to support myself.
As a prostitute, she has been robbed, she has been beaten, she has been raped, and held captive. I feel repulsed, scared, terrified. I'm sick.
My mom is really worried and concerned about me, but I feel like it's maybe too late. I'd rather my mom not get involved.
My biggest fear is that my beautiful son, who's becoming my daughter, is going to end up dead.
Janice, so tell me your primary concern here. You say your son declared at about 16 that he was gay.
Right, correct.
Shock to you? Surprise?
Yes.
Did you have a hard time wrapping your head around that?
I did at first. My other son and daughter said they've known for a long time. Maybe I just chose not to see it. But I was willing to accept and learn how to accept, I guess.
Were you able to get at peace with that?
Yes.
So at that point, you felt like, okay, even though I've got a period of adjustment here, that should be a big pressure relief for him.
Yes.
What started happening that caused you to ship him off to his grandmother and grandfather?
When he turned 16, he just totally lost it. He was stealing and lying and smoking pot and drinking.
There was nothing that predicted this when he was 12 or 13. No back talk, no nothing.
Oh, I mean, he was dramatic always, but...
And define dramatic.
Dramatic is if something didn't go his way, he would throw a temper tantrum, he'd cry, he'd yell. But this crazy, wild behavior, no. I took his cell phone away because he wasn't following the rules, wasn't turning in his homework. And he was lying to me and calling me names, so I took away his cell phone. And he threw me into walls and broke pictures and then called the police. And so when the police came, they saw that I had cuts all over myself, and so they cuffed him and took him away.
Okay. So his behavior's in the extremes.
Yes. There's no in between. There's no gray area for Chance.
How does she feel about being here today?
I don't know. I honestly do not know. He doesn't hardly talk to me. She.
I'm talking about your son at 16 when he came out as gay, and now you're saying that he is transitioning to
A she.
A she. So at this point, then, we're talking about she, and the name is Hope. How did she come to be here today? Did you ask?
I didn't ask her. I had contacted her at the beginning of December just through Messenger on Facebook to see how she was doing.
You didn't always get prompt responses,
No.
right? Sometimes it would be weeks or months.
Months, yeah.
Okay, Janice writes, are you still in Hollywood? She didn't even know where.
No.
Hope, yes, I'm still in Hollywood for now. I'm getting breast implants in like a month, and I hate my life and how I have to do things to survive. Janice says, I'm not sure what you're doing to survive, but I am here if you need to talk. Hope, I'm hoping it just gets better, and I've just been selling myself as an escort to make a lot of money and survive, and I hate every moment of it, but it's the only way I'm surviving. But I think I might run off to Portland or something after my surgery and disappear for a while. Now, take me through the moment when you read a message that says your child is prostituting themselves on the streets of Hollywood.
I was sick. I literally got sick. I became angry. I cried. I screamed. I was disgusted, embarrassed, all of the above. I didn't even know what to do. I can't pick up a phone and call my friends. How do you explain to them that you're about a gay trans prostitute child? I mean, none of my friends have anything like that, so I didn't know what to do.
Well, that wasn't all of it, because here's another exchange. This was in December. Janice, you are not on heavy drugs, are you? Hope, I am completely clean. Janice, good. Hope, well, I've done some coke every once in a while, but that's it. Janice, just please get out. Hope, I'm going to. I really shouldn't have told you all this. I'm sorry, Mom. Don't worry. I'm going to be fine. I'll message you later. Love you. So now drugs.
Drugs also, yes.
Okay. And you're feeling helpless.
I am helpless. I have this destructive child that I don't know what to do with, and I don't know how to help.
Well, we're about to meet Hope, who claims her mother was emotionally abusive and took out all of her anger on her. She'll explain more while showing what a day in her life is really like.
My mom has only seen me as Hope on 2 different occasions.
I was sick to my stomach. Her body was hanging out of everything, a low cleavage top. It was like a little romper. She's constantly puckering her lips and playing with her hair. When I look at the way she dresses, it just disgusts me. My daughter dresses like a slut.
Now when I look at myself, I see a young but grown woman.
I guess as a prostitute, this is how she dresses. Where most parents get to brag about their child, it's embarrassing. It's a family secret. They'll say, "Where's Chance at?" And I'll say, "California trying to make it big."
Well, Janice says she has been scared ever since she discovered that her child started transitioning to female and that is now going by the name Hope and wanders the streets of Hollywood as a sex worker. Now, Hope says her goal is to earn enough money to complete her transition. Here's Hope talking about her future plans.
Making the decision to accept myself as transgender is the biggest decision I've ever made in my life. It's just something that I felt. I now identify myself as a straight female and date straight men who, you know, want to date a straight woman. My transition started by dressing the way I felt comfortable, and that happened to be as a woman. And for the first time, I felt beautiful. I started taking hormones about 2 years ago. I'm currently getting estrogen shots about every 2 weeks, and I also take testosterone blockers daily. Currently I have a B cup. My plan is to one day get breast implants. I also plan to one day have my sexual reassignment surgery. The surgery is very expensive. It's around 50 grand. I chose the name Hope because it was a chance at my past, and it was a hope for my future. It's a hope for everything in my future.
Well, Hope says she has turned to a life in the streets out of necessity.
At the moment, I'm homeless. I do stay at inexpensive hotel rooms, or I'll stay at an occasional friend's place. My daily life consists of getting ready for the day, texting some guy that's trying to meet up. I've been supporting myself as an escort. I'm doing what I need to do, what I have to do to keep myself alive. Most people just want to be touched, have some kind of interaction, get a massage. There's a lot of weirdos, but you don't know the difference between who's going to show up. I've had guys punch me. I've had my arm cut open by a glass door that a guy slammed into me. A lot of the time, I just feel lonely. I feel like my family just doesn't get me at all. My mom, she just never calls. I really don't feel like she cares. My relationship with my mom over the years, or my whole life, has been so strange. I don't feel like I know her. I don't feel like she really knows me from beyond what she sees. I know I can't rely on her for anything. I could call her for something and she would maybe say yes, but whether she follows through with it is a completely different story.
Oh,
hi.
good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So how long has it been since you've seen your mother?
Like 6 months.
I find it odd that you haven't seen her in 6 months and you walk out and don't even acknowledge her.
It's kind of a hard subject. Only thing I have to say right now is, how are you, Princess Janice?
It's very nice. Thank you. That's very rude.
Yeah, why?
She's choosing now and on TV to choose a time to involve herself in my life. The times I've gone out to Colorado and she tells me, "Oh, you can't live with us."
What's one of the reasons I won't let you stay at my house, Hope? Huh?
Probably because you're drunk.
No, because you steal. You stole our PS3 games.
I did.
You hawked my computer.
Yeah.
You stole left and right from us.
And
You're
how
a
many
thief.
times have I said sorry? I grew up with her either pushing me down the stairs or drinking a whole bottle and freaking out after she had just gotten off work, slamming me around. I'd have to run to the neighbors next door just to get help, and she would say sorry while she's smoking a cigarette.
That's not true.
So you say she was emotionally abusive.
Yeah.
Did you have anger issues at that time?
I was frustrated living with her.
What do you want in terms of relationship with your mother at this point?
She says she wants a relationship, but it's so late. Where was she the last couple of years when I've needed her or been homeless?
Well,
Who sent you money? And it's not my job. Get a job, a real job.
You were never there.
Why do you think I wrote the Dr. Phil Show?
Attention.
so what is happening now? We're going to meet Hope's grandmother, Jan, who says Hope is still legally Chance, and she is very upset she never apologized for stealing and taking advantage of her before she left without even saying goodbye. We'll be right back.
My mom, Hope's grandmother, has never seen her as a female.
The last time I saw my grandma, I was still Chance.
My mom was having a difficult time with Chance being gay. I have no clue how she'll react to Chance now being Hope.
I would love for my grandma to see me as a woman. I want her to see me as who I feel I was always meant to be.
I never really know when it comes to my mom. She's definitely going to be shocked.
Well, 22-year-old Hope says after years of working to find herself, first as a gay teen male and later acting out and experimenting with drugs, she finally feels like everything clicked when she moved to Hollywood and began transitioning to female. But Janice's mother, Jan, says she refuses to call her, quote, con artist and manipulative grandson, Hope.
Chance is a huge disappointment to me. My husband and I let Chance move in with us the summer before his senior year in high school. Chance was completely out of control. Chance stole my husband Chuck's silver dollar collection and his LL Bean hat that he loved. My husband Chuck was a pharmacist over 50 years. Chance stole painkillers from my husband and then sold them so he could buy drugs. My husband got in trouble because of what Chance did. He was told he either has to quit his job or retire. My grandson ruined my husband's career and he could have cared less.
I feel like everyone is blowing it out of proportion, making a bigger deal out of it than it is.
I feel like my grandson was a con artist. My grandson is quite a manipulator. My husband and I are very conservative and we are religious. Coming to terms with the fact my grandson was gay was hard for us. I've always felt that maybe the reason they're gay is a birth defect. When my daughter told me that Chance was transgender, I felt very, very sad. Oh dear, what's that?
When I see this stuff, it bothers me because we're supposed to accept this, but
How can you? How can you?
And
It's not how he was brought up. My grandson was a good-looking young man, but I don't think he's a very pretty woman. Chance will always be my grandson. He will never be my granddaughter.
Well, this is Jan.
Jan, good to meet you.
Chance?
That's not my name, by the way.
Excuse me?
That's not my name, by the way. Don't call me.
Is it legal?
No, it's not, but don't call me that. Preferably, please.
Okay.
Well, Jan has not seen Hope since before her transition 4 years ago. So you haven't seen her in a long time, right?
Almost 5 years.
5 years, okay. And you have very strong feelings about this.
I do. He was the most handsome man. I just couldn't see why he would want to give up being a good-looking man.
You feel that this is unnatural.
Yes.
You say it's a birth defect or something?
Well, I just have to find some reason for it. If I thought he was happy now, that's one thing, but he isn't. He wasn't happy as a man, he isn't happy as a gay person, and he's not happy as a transgender.
I like that you keep saying he.
I'm
It's
sorry.
she.
I'm sorry. This is the first I've seen you.
Did you steal drugs from...
Yeah, in high school, I was staying with them, and I had a pill problem, and they had left out of town, and
Do you have any remorse for that?
I feel awful now. I feel now that I'm sober, I feel horrible.
Have you expressed remorse for the things you did to victimize your family members?
No,
Why have you not expressed remorse?
because she's very Christian. The same reason why she's calling me Chance and he is partially part of the reason why I'd never called her. I already get so much criticism every day trying to be who I am. So calling them and knowing I won't get support, it's like, you're not there anyways. Like, and I had to make it on my own, even you know, like through everything. So calling like her and talking to her is like, there's no point.
Well, you know, I had 3 things on my agenda list. One was reunification of the family. One was supporting you in a healthy transition, if it is in fact healthy. And the other was dealing with your high-risk behaviors. You know, right now, your current lifestyle, you say you're homeless, you've lived on the beach and hotels with friends, you're working as an escort, you meet clients on the street, you go to hotels with men alone, you say you've been raped, you've been beaten, you've had $2,000 stolen from you, you say that you've used cocaine and marijuana, you said you drink until you black out, that you've dated abusive men.
It's hard to live out here. It's hard to make it. My mom is a huge alcoholic, and she has a major drinking problem.
I consider myself a social drinker. I came from the world of old school where you come home from work and you have a cup of cocktails. That's how I grew up, and that's what I do.
My mom is definitely not a social drinker. She is not in control.
I don't let alcohol run my life. It hasn't affected my job, how I run my home. He was always provided hot meals and a clean home.
Because my mom's drinking, she didn't give me the love I needed. She was angry. She gave up on her life. What my mom needs to know about her drinking is everyone knows.
Well, Janice and her mother Jan say they're terrified that Janice's 22-year-old transgender daughter Hope could end up hurt or killed by living on the streets of Hollywood and working as an escort. But Hope says she doesn't believe that her mother's concern is truly sincere. You clearly have a chip on your shoulder. Do you sincerely, at the core of your soul, believe that your mother has no concern for you?
No, I do believe she has concern for me.
And do you really believe she's just here as an attention-getting stunt?
About 80% of it. I think it was exciting for her to get something to, I don't know, a way to call me out in front of more people, or I didn't make people feel more sorry for her because she's always the victim.
What if you're wrong?
I think that would be amazing, but I also think it's really late in the game.
You know that you're the one that said, and I said, you said, did you call Dr. Phil? And I said, yes, I did, because I'm scared for you. And you said, well, this will give me great exposure. I think it's you're the one that's loving this, not me.
You are putting your life in danger.
Right.
If you look at the dangers that are associated with prostitution, the workplace homicide rate is 51 times higher than normal. 51 times higher than normal. The mortality rate is 240 times higher.
How many of those girls are transgender?
Okay, transgender female sex workers, 45% currently are living in poverty, 72% are sexually assaulted in their lifetime, in contrast to 44% who have not done sex work. You're 16 times more likely to be living with HIV versus those who have never done sex work. 9 out of 10 report being harassed, attacked sexually, assaulted, or mistreated by police.
There's times when you're so down on yourself, and everyone's criticizing you so much, you're scared to go into that building, you know, where the owner tells you, oh no, we can't hire you. Or you're scared to make certain ways, so when you have a friend tell you you're tired of being homeless, you're tired of being broke, you're tired of not being able to go have somewhere to stay for the night of your own bed.
Look, I've been doing this for 45 years.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you can't get legitimate work.
I can. I've had legitimate work.
You can work remotely in computer sciences. You can work as a telemarketer, making people's lives miserable. Right. You can do all manner of stuff. You don't have to work where you face judgment in the workplace by narrow-minded people. So
I reached out to my sister to tell her I don't want to do this anymore. And right now, I'm currently not doing it anymore, especially since certain websites and stuff were closed. I stopped. I haven't been doing it. Probably the last week and a half, 2 weeks, I haven't had to do it at all, and it's that's because of me. That's because I'm scared. Everyone can judge me. Everyone can say, oh, she's a mess, she's a prostitute, she's tranny, she's gross. I felt all those feelings about myself and have had to deal with it. But I also was doing what I thought at the time was right to make money to survive at the time.
Look, the only thing I'm judging is your attitude. The fact that you are transitioning does not give you a right to check out of life, sit on the sidelines, be socially irresponsible, put your life in danger, or be rude to your family because they're not in the same place you are.
Yeah, you're right.
That doesn't mean that you all of a sudden get a pass on everything. The fact that your grandmother over here isn't as progressive as you are in your thinking doesn't mean that you have the right to be disrespectful to her.
Right.
I mean, she may not be where you are, but, I mean, let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Tomorrow. Hope has had problems with drinking and drugs.
I would get drunk to the point of blackout every weekend for sure. I've had my fair share of hard drugs, done crystal meth. I have done heroin.
She's turned to drugs and alcohol to kill the pain of being unhappy.
I was feeling a lot of pain because I was abandoned from my mom and she wasn't there.
When she doesn't know how to handle something or doesn't know why her life is the way it is, it's mom's fault. Hope likes to point the finger at me. If anything's wrong in her life, who else is better to blame than mom?
You may recognize my next guest from the E! Network docuseries, I Am Kate. Joining us now is transgender activist and health educator for Children's Hospital, Shandy Moore. Shandy, good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
How are you? You've been listening along here. What's your reaction to what you've heard so far?
Ooh, can I do one thing, Dr. Phil? Let me give you a hug, the hug that Hope didn't give you. Okay? Okay, thank you, Grandma. And I'm gonna hug you too, but
wait, what am I, a dog biscuit?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm hugging you too. But as I go back to my seat, I'm about to read you too. Because Hope, you have sat here and have blamed everybody but yourself for the things that you're dealing with in your life.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You knew that the boys in Hollywood wasn't no good. Mm-hmm. We told you.
Yeah.
We told you. We did. And you knew that you were able to get some resources established for yourself as well. But what did you do? You found friends. You left your resources to go run with your friends. How can you get your life on track when you're running around the wrong crowd? You've got to change your circle, Mama. You can't hang around those people who aren't going the places that you're trying to go.
Okay, hang on. You said we told you. When did you first meet Hope?
I met Hope 2 years ago when she first got to Los Angeles.
Right.
She came to one of our support groups. But you've got to own your stuff, Hope.
And I run through all these statistics with you to give you a wake-up call, and your response is, but hell, you need to hear what I'm telling you. You are putting your life in danger. You have no idea the risk that you're putting yourself at. And then your little shake your head and 3 snaps attitude won't mean jack when somebody gets a hold of you.
I know.
Hope says that she's transitioning. So are we.
Yes.
We are transitioning also. And she just expects everybody to accept who she is at that time. Like when she was gay, we were supposed to accept that. Well, that takes time. Transitioning, this isn't my son. This is now my daughter. This isn't who I gave birth to. This is a whole different person. I have to get to know her, and I haven't seen her really in 2 years.
You do it one step at a time, because the two of you have unfinished emotional business. And it does need to be dealt with, but you deal with it one step at a time. And you have to, as I said to you during the break, you have to give people a chance to catch up.
Yeah, I know.
You have one big obstacle that can dash your biggest dreams, and you don't even have it on your radar. I'm going to tell you what it is when we come back. I said there was one huge obstacle. Because you say you're trying to save up like $50,000 to have the reassignment surgery. One of the areas of specialization that I practiced in back when I practiced was called behavioral medicine. And so I was often asked by surgeons to ascertain whether or not I felt like someone was a good candidate for all different kinds of surgery, whether it was plastic surgery or high-risk surgery on brain or spinal cord, whatever it might be. Were their expectations reasonable? Were they candidates that were likely to be satisfied with the outcome, or were they not, or whatever? And I can tell you right now, if one of those surgeons sent you to me and said, I want you to evaluate this individual to see whether or not they are a reasonable candidate for this surgery, I wouldn't say no, I would say hell no. And I'll tell you why. Because before you make the kind of decisions that you're talking about making, you need to have the rest of your ducks in a row. You need to have your life in order. You need to make that decision from a position of stability, not from a position of chaos. And you've got to make peace here. You've got to make peace with yourself. You've got to get your life. And right now, the fact that you are putting yourself in harm's way tells me that you do not value yourself. You do not have the self-worth. If you did, you would not put yourself in harm's way. Listen, I don't think you have a perfect mother here. I don't think you've got a perfect grandmother. And you aren't a perfect child. So doesn't that have a great symmetry to it?
Yeah. Honestly, I love my grandma. I will say that now. I want her to know that. I love my grandma. And I'm very sorry that I didn't get to stay in touch with her.
Thank you.
She's not my problem.
Thank you.
She never has been. She was always my best friend. My mom, I love her, and I love her deep. I always will. I am trying, and I know I could try a lot harder.
I've asked Dr. Kaligi to be here. Dr. Mannion is here. Say hello.
Hi,
These folks are here from the premier dual diagnosis treatment center, Creative Care in Malibu. They are, when I say dual diagnosis, these are the folks that will deal with whatever addiction problems that you might have. They deal with the psychological issues at one time. They will get you oriented and on the right track where you have a clear focus on who you are and what your priorities need to be. I think you deserve this. And so I want to make this resource available to you. It's here in Malibu, and it is, listen, I have the ability to call on the best of the best in this country. And I'm not here to judge you, I'm here to support you, and that's why I've asked them to come here, and I'm offering you that help. Will you take it?
I will, thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. Is fair enough? Thank you. Okay. As technology advances, so do the scams of con artists out to snag your cash. The latest trend? Phone scams. And one simple word from you could mean financial disaster. I love what we're getting ready to talk about. You are going to find this so interesting. You're going to find out how to protect yourself, too, right after the break. Has this happened to you? Your cell phone rings. You don't recognize the number, but you answer it anyway. Then someone says, "Can you hear me?" If you get that call, do not answer yes. That simple yes could mean a crook is about to go on a shopping spree with your cash. Take a look.
And this warning about a new phone scam.
The latest scam hitting phone lines could get you in trouble just for saying the word yes.
Scammers calling people asking, "Can you hear me?"
Lou Lombardo describes what is being called the "Can you hear me" scam.
Hey, this is Josh from customer service. Can you hear me?
The call is designed to get you to say yes, so it can be recorded.
The first words I heard were, "Can you hear me?" All right. And without thinking right away, I said yes. It dawned upon me right away that this was a scam.
They believe your yes recording may be used to authorize a purchase or a service.
When you call it back, the number just says, oh, the survey you were trying to take is now over. I wasn't trying to take a survey.
And one of the best ways to protect yourself is to get on the do not call list.
To help us avoid being scammed by high-tech con artists, please welcome AARP fraud expert Amy Knopfziger. Now, you said, somebody says, can you hear me? And you say yes. That could get you in trouble. Why? What's happening?
So what they're saying is that they can splice that yes, and then they can add it on to a sales pitch to prove that you agreed to it. The thing about the can you hear me scam is we've had a lot of complaints about it, but we actually can't trace anyone losing money. But we don't know if the scammers are going to use that information today or even 10 years from now. So it's just really, if anyone ever calls you and is acting weird on the phone, hang up.
There's another con out there that AARP says could be the biggest consumer scam in the U.S. right now. So, Amy, tell us about this one.
Well, it's called the tech support scam. What happens is you receive a phone call, an email, or a pop-up comes up on your computer, and it's someone claiming to be from Microsoft or Apple, and they say that you have a serious virus on your computer, and they need to access your computer to clear it away. But we know that that is not true, and once they're in your computer, they will wreak havoc and steal your money.
Yeah, now this actually happened to us, right, Robin?
It came up full screen and said that I had a virus, and it said Microsoft. It looked very official.
Yes.
And it said, I need to access your computer, which we have an IT guy that always does that. So I was kind of leery then, but it said, call this number.
But it actually blocked our computer.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's very scary.
Take a look at this AARP public service warning.
Hi, ma'am. This is NetSolutions technical support. We found a virus on your computer. Don't worry, I can fix it. I just need remote access to your computer. Plus your credit card number to verify your account.
That call from tech support is actually a scammer trying to rip you off. Visit the AARP Fraud Watch Network and learn how to protect yourself.
So how big a problem is this computer scam? It happened to, they tried it on us, and it's happening to a lot of people. How big a problem is this?
It's a really big problem, and these scammers are so good at what they do. Microsoft did a survey in about 2015, and they found that 3.3 million people had already been a victim of this scam and lost $1.5 billion to this scam.
AARP's top 5 tips to avoid tech scams. Let's talk about those. Number 1, hang up on the caller claiming to be tech support.
Hang up, because the longer you're on the phone, the more time they have to trick you.
And you say, don't give up control of your computer. What do you mean, control of your computer?
So what they'll say is that they need to remote access into your computer. But no legitimate company will ever call you and ask you that.
Don't rely on caller ID.
This is a big one. Criminals can fake what appears on your caller ID. They can make it say it's coming from a legitimate company or even a local number when in fact they might be out of the country.
And don't ever give credit card or financial information to a caller claiming to be tech support, right?
To anyone who calls you unsolicited, don't give that information, but especially if they say they're from tech support. Only if you initiate the call and verify that you're calling the real company is it okay to give that information.
Yeah, you initiate. And don't ever give your password over the phone, right?
No legitimate company needs this information, but if by chance you already maybe have given your password to someone, make sure to change it today.
Most people would think that since scams are AARP warnings, they are aimed at older people. Is that true?
Absolutely not. If you have a computer, you are at risk for this scam. And when Microsoft did that survey, they actually found out that younger people were victims more often than not with the tech support scam. And we think it's because they grew up online and maybe feel more confident, but you could be a CEO of a company, a retired teacher, or a stay-at-home parent. Everybody is at risk. That's why education is so important when it comes to
these. You got a computer, you got a target on you. All right.
Do.
Look, to learn more about how to protect yourself and your wallet from these scams, you must check out aarp.org/fraudwatchnetwork. And let me tell you, I've been there, I've looked at it, and it gives you some information that can keep your money where it belongs, and that's with you. So go to the website and check it out. I want to thank all of my guests today, and a special thanks to Amy and to AARP. We'll see you next time. Amy, thanks. Great job.